I'm traveling to Germany as part of a new film project that I'm working on with my two best friends, Tom Eustache and from the Simp First Nation and Thomas Schoen. We're calling the film Dirt Relations, an exploration of bikes, trails, and reconciliation. And it's going to explore our story of creating the Indigenous Youth Mountain Bike Program and how trails and biking helped us to figure out our sense of place in the world and how we can challenge and disrupt the colonial system that's been built up around us. Thomas and I are traveling to Germany together. And the reason we're doing that is because Thomas is German. He grew up in Germany and immigrated to Canada 35 years ago. And my family, I'm an Air Force brat, and we were posted in 1982 to a small city called Lahr in the Black Forest in southwestern Germany, not far from the French border. And this was a time of the height of the Cold War, and the peace movement was full in swing, and it was like a cultural, revolution that was happening across Europe. What we want to do for Thomas and I is explore how those places shaped and crafted who we are and got us to this point.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think we got to capture some of that sense of like what you're experiencing. Yeah.
All right, well, here we are. We're in Murnau, or just outside of Murnau, where Thomas grew up.
How's it feel to be back in your hometown there, Thomas?
It's pretty awesome. This looks exactly like I remember it. Not a lot of change here. Looks good. Man, yeah. Brings back a lot of memories. It's awesome.
All right, Tom, where are we, buddy?
Pretty much in the heart of Murnau. Real center of Murnau. I grew up like a minute from here. Old church. This is one of the big main established breweries in Murnau. Upper Bavaria, foothill of the Alps. So yeah, right in the center of this little village here.
Where are we, Thomas?
You know, this is the house I grew up in. That's where I lived like 15, 16 years of my life. My grandparents built it. Yeah, I know this house really well. Man, yeah, main entrance door. It changed a bit. They're pushing a new door in there, but yeah, I grew up there, right in the heart of Murnau. It was pretty idyllic. It was really nice here. Big park next door. Wow. Man, wow, that brings up a lot of memories. My grandparents' house. I played on that tree there, climbed that tree many times. Oh man, that is so crazy. Really interesting how small everything looks now. Like, I thought we lived in this massive house, and I mean it is a big house for German standards. It's got a lot of square feet. It's got a big basement, full basement, 2 floors. It felt really modern back in the day, but everything now seems so small. And then these 2 houses back door, they belong to a very prominent figure in the Nazi party, Max Dingler. He was one of the main architects. He built some of the iconic Nazi buildings in Nuremberg and Munich. And he owned this whole park. This was the servants' house, the coach house. where the horses were for the horse-drawn wagon, and then the main house was back there. And yeah, crazy. Yeah, school run by big building. They're run by nuns. Man, and were they ever mean. I was terrified of those nuns. It was just really bad. Public school, elementary school.
That's creepy, dude.
But man, yeah.
We've been here for 2 days, wandering around the town, learning about, Tom, and how he grew up here, and how the town kind of shaped who he is and who he became. And there's a lot of really interesting history in Murnau. Like it was and still is like a thriving arts community. Back in the day, like back in the 20s and 30s, a lot of really famous writers and painters lived and worked in the town. But at the same time, it's where the National Socialism and the Nazi movement really started to gain a foothold in Murnau. Like compared to other parts of the country, it was actually quite popular early on in that movement. And after the war, the community was still kind of divided. There were still people around who had been Nazi collaborators and sympathizers, and that had played a huge role in who Tom became, and in fact it affected his politics. It's just been really interesting, like learning about that with him, and wandering around the town and seeing where he lived and where he grew up. It's this beautiful, picturesque little town up in the Bavarian Alps, or like kind of on the edge of the Bavarian Alps. Beautiful old architecture. After this, we head to Lahr, which is the town where I lived as a kid growing up, when my father was posted there as part of the NATO occupational forces in the early 80s. That's going to be, kind of crazy. I haven't been back in 37 years, so it should be pretty interesting. But in the meantime, we get to hang out here, this absolutely gorgeous valley. Pretty cool.